Hey, I keep hearing that you cannot find this bee watercolor paper, but I did, and it's the 100% cotton 140 pound 50 sheet pack in size 6 inches by 9 inches, so stay tuned. If you have gone back in my history and seen my very first ever and second ever and third ever released video, you know I like old trucks. So we're doing an old truck today, and I am starting out by using a bunch of masking fluid. And I have this little rubber brayer brush that I like to use, and it's really cool because the masking fluid just peels right off of it, and it's just brand new, just like that. And I've stuck a picture of my reference photo. That's from Pixabay right there in the bottom corner. I'm starting out using this hockey brush and wetting the entire thing. This is taped down on the back with like 9 pieces of rolled up masking tape. I didn't want a border around it. I wanted things to go clear to the edge. Putting it on a little clipboard just so I can move it around if I need to. And just soaking it with a bunch of water. And then I start out trying to use this hockey brush for some of my colors. And it works at first. And for paint, I'm using my awesome QoR paints. They're just way too fun to work with. And I know they love to spread in water, and that is the main reason that I chose them. You can see that here, it's just a gorgeous spread. So this little truck is going to be more of an abstract, and then at the end, it kind of comes together as not an abstract. Like, the whole concept is pretty fun. So that looks green, but that's actually my neutral tint kind of mixed with Payne's gray right there. So I'm not sure why it's showing up green, but it's supposed to be more of a tanny brown, and that's what I was going for. And I think that it does look like that at the end there. If you're new to my channel, in some of my older videos, if you go back and watch some of them, you'll hear me say sometimes, why bother painting realism when you can just take a photo, even though I end up painting a ton of realism. So this right here, this is the style in my head that is the style I want to be like this is me right here. And I love this whole process. I loved this whole painting. It was so much fun. And I did start out on this one with a sketch. I needed a sketch to figure out where everything went, and obviously for the masking as well. But I completely lose my sketch in here, and you'll see that I do get it back later and work on that, and I'll show you a little bit of tips with that one. And you probably saw me switch a little bit. I'll go to my little Winsor & Newton Cotman round size 10, and I'm using that to put some spatters on, and I wanted red in this painting. I don't know why, I just needed red. And then I go to wipe something accidentally, and my paper towel, see how it dropped on my paper right there, and I pulled it off and it created that smear, and then I saw that smear and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's perfect, I want that on the other side. So you saw me there put it on the other side by dropping the paper towel on it intentionally this time. And then, what's a little red without some bright blue? So I wanted that bright blue in there as well. I have a truck similar to this in my yard right now. It's actually a 65, and I think this one's in the 50s. And I think this is a Chevy and mine's a Ford. But regardless, old truck, similar. Anyway, it's that light blue that I spattered in the background, and it's just a color I associate with older vehicles often. To take this masking fluid off, I just use rolled up masking tape because it helps stick to this fluid, and it was actually really hard to get off this time. And I put a very thin layer on the grille and the headlights because I was hoping some of the paint would come through, and it did, and it is such a cool effect. However, you can see where I laid the masking fluid on more thickly that it definitely covered it completely. So it works as it should, and it works as I was hoping it would. So that was perfect. So I'm just putting in more specific details. I'm getting my truck back here. You got to get a little bit abstract along with a little bit of realism for this effect that I wanted. And it's been since last Inktober that I used this fountain pen. So I got it out and retested it just so I wouldn't be a total newbie at it again. And that is what I wanted to use for the outline of my truck, was the fountain pen. I just really like how it feels when I use it. For me, there's so much control with the fountain pen and the ink. It's just really, really nice. So here I am drawing my truck back in, and I did re-sketch it with pencil because I used a graphite aquarelle pencil when I did my initial sketch. So yeah, I completely lost it because it was water soluble. And I thought at the beginning, oh, that was such a good idea. And then when I painted over, I'm like, wait, I need my lines. So had to re-sketch some things back in. which took a little extra time, but all in all, this was actually still super quick painting. I mean, really quick. And here I'm going back in. Things need to be darker, and you know, that always happens with my paintings. Everything needs to be darker, so more spatters, just finishing up some final touches, and you know, I keep thinking, oh, I'm done, and then I'm like, no, that windshield needs some reflections, and then I thought, oh, that's all I'm doing today, so I got this little pretty picture ready for my thumbnail, and then I'm like, I need more. I'm not done. This paper was fun, and you can see here I'm starting the second one, and I don't use a sketch for this one at all. I am just like literally sketching with the paint while I'm painting. Like, it's all in one. So that one's really fun, and that's how I used to always paint. Was I didn't sketch because I wasn't good at drawing, but if I put color on the paper, I could see exactly where lines and everything was supposed to be, in my own interpretation, of course. So I thought, you know, it's been a while since I haven't actually sketched in my drawing and then painted over the top of it, and I really wanted to do that because sketching's annoying. It takes time, and when you just want to be painting, forget sketching. I mean, geez. So anyway, that's just me, but I'm still using my QoR paints. It's really fun dropping turquoise on these old vehicles because there's something about that color, like I mentioned in the previous painting, just it seems to be always on old vehicles. And so here we go on that one, just sticking it on the roof and the little hood and top of the headlight, a little bit in the fender. And if you're wondering, is this the same paper she showed us in the beginning? Because that one was 6 inches by 9 inches. Yes, this is the same paper. I just cut it to 6 by 6 size because I knew the paintings that I wanted to do just fit in my mind better in a square size. And I thought it might be fun to do a little series of these little 6 by 6 paintings of old trucks. So that's something I may do, because when I was looking for reference photos of old trucks, I only found, you know, a few million. So they're all in my reference photos folder, and I will probably get to them because I absolutely love painting old trucks. They're just the bestest thing ever. So you might be wondering, how is this paper? Because you already know I love the paints, at least if you've been around a while. And I am no expert on like reviewing art products, because if I use something and it doesn't annoy me, then I'm happy with it. But luckily I have a lot of you guys in the comments that tell us more about these things. So thank you so much for those of you who comment on this. I loved the paper so far. I mean, I had 0 issues with it. It acted exactly like I hoped it would with my paints, and all was good. So here we are. Here's my 2 paintings. I hope you really had fun today. I sure did. This was a blast. Thank you so much for joining me again. Like I said, subscribe if you're new here. If you like watercolor, I open 2 art subscription boxes every month as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Really appreciate your time today. Have a great week.